So since I just saw Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, I thought this week's video should be a review on that movie. Why not? I'm Aaron Imholt from the Steel Toe Morning Show on Rockin' 101. And yes, right after the show today, in fact, I did hear some complaints from listeners that I cut the show 15 minutes short to go. I warned you. Anyhow, here's my take. It's a little bit different than the critics' take and some of the fanboy takes you hear on YouTube. It's funny, now that people have these YouTube channels where they get all these subscribers and they review movies, some of them feel like they have to one-up the critics. They have to be more bashing. They have to be more negative than the critics are. And then there are some guys like, what's that guy's name? Jeremy Johns, whatever it is. He does a great job. Very honest review. The negatives, the pros, the cons. Does fantastic. There are a lot of, and they tend to be younger people who think, I'm gonna be cool. Because to younger people now, cool is going with the flow. Cool is now doing whatever the adult authority says and then doubling down on it. That's fucked up. It used to be that whatever they said, we went, who gives a shit, and we did whatever we wanted to do. I'm a little worried about that, but maybe that's another video. Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Here we go. I thought as a standalone film, it was entertaining. I was entertained. I sat down for 2.5 hours, I ate popcorn, I drank soda, and I walked away going, that was a lot better than sitting around my house or watching some stuff on YouTube or going grocery shopping. It was a pretty good time. I had fun watching it. Wasn't on the edge of my seat the entire time, but there were certainly some holy shit moments in the film. Even some dark humor from time to time. The negatives. Let's start with the negatives, get those out of the way. I don't totally buy the Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor character. However, unlike many who are willing to write it off right now, I'm not. I think the end of the movie, and I won't give away any spoilers, the end of the movie showed that there could be a paradigm shift for this Luthor character, and Jesse Eisenberg, who's an extremely talented actor, he's been in some very great films, he's still going to be able to pull this thing together, I think. You gotta remember, this is not a standalone movie. Like I said, as a standalone, it's fine, it's entertaining. But as a setup to a DC universe, you gotta remember, Snyder and company were doing something that really has never been done before. They're setting up an entire comic book cinematic universe in one film. This isn't piggybacking off The Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises. That chapter is closed. That's over. This is a reboot of Batman. This is also introducing Wonder Woman, the Green Lantern, Flash, Aquaman, the entire Justice League in one movie. That's very hard to do. And yes, the movie does suffer from it. But that's as a standalone movie. As the genesis of the DC universe, it actually does a pretty good job with an incredibly ambitious story to tell. Yes, it does jump around in the plot from time to time. Yes, you see that ambitious storyline does kind of feel like they're hyperventilating from time to time and trying to get through some things. But overall, a very entertaining movie, and you're not going to be upset if you buy a matinee or a nighttime ticket. Get yourself a large popcorn and a large soda. It's not going to be a waste of money, and you're going to be thoroughly entertained. Continuing with the negatives, I would say, as I said, the jumping around in the plot, the sometimes seeming like it was rushing or it was panicking to get something out. Also, what distracted me was some of the dream sequences. Not all of them, but some of them seemed a little forced. There was one in particular, and those who have seen the movie will know, almost like it was ripped out of the Injustice Gods Among Us video game. It was kind of a weird alternate reality dystopian future thing that I thought was kind of forced into the film. Other than that, I mean, the critics were criticizing the character development. Guys, it's fucking Batman and Superman. Character development, like everybody doesn't already know. If you don't know about Batman and Superman, you're not going to see this movie anyway. And by the way, there was storytelling and character development. It was just subtle. It was very subtle character development. We found out what makes Bruce Wayne tick. We found out how you can take this hardened 20-year Batman and you can make him second-guess himself, how you can make him bend a little bit, or how you can make him doubt himself. It was actually a really interesting moment in the film. We also kind of see in the final scene of the movie that Batman is completely aware that in terms of his own personal power, he is at a great disadvantage to Wonder Woman and Superman. I mean, that is clearly spelled out in the final scene. I'm sorry that the critics don't notice subtle storytelling with body language and facial expression and behavior, but it's absolutely there. Other negatives, boy, I gotta tell you, some people are saying that the Superman attack of conscience in this movie wasn't really played out very long. That was one of the things I liked. I liked that it only took 5 or 10 minutes. We don't need to see fucking Superman moping around forever. And then the positives. I think there were a lot. To everyone, including myself, who said that Ben Affleck is Batman. Ben Affleck is Batman. Oh my God! What the? Oh, Ben Affleck feels like I have a dick in my mouth. Oh, Ben Affleck. I think the entire cinematic world, and yes, Mr. Affleck specifically, owe us one of these and one of these, because Ben Affleck killed it as Batman. Not only that, I like the physical appearance of Batman in this one better than the Christian Bale Batman. And as you've seen in the previews, I like that they went with an actual voice modifier rather than that awful smoker's voice. It was ridiculous, and by the third film, it was really starting to wear on people. The voice changer I liked. Also, I like that they have a big, hulking Batman. Christian Bale was more aerodynamic. Christian Bale could fly around. He was very fast and agile Batman. The Ben Affleck Batman, like we said, is in his 40s. He's been kicking ass for a couple of decades, and he is just a fucking muscle-bound dude. He just literally pounds the shit out of people. He doesn't spin away from them and then fly away from them and come back. He just takes on 8 guys at once and beats their asses. I really, really like that. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman was fantastic. I have never been a big Wonder Woman guy because I'm a misogynist. I'm not really into female superhero characters. Never really cared about Black Widow. But Gal Gadot has me caring about Wonder Woman. She did a fantastic job, and I like how they handled the character. Superman, I've never been a big Superman guy, but Henry Cavill doesn't bother me. I think he's more than just there. I won't say he's there. He's better than there. He does a fine job. He does okay. And again, I'll try not to spoil. People know by now, I believe, that Doomsday is in this movie. I was disappointed in the way they used Doomsday. It felt a little rushed. It felt a little forced, I believe. However, in the Superman and Batman Rogues Gallery, there's so many people to pick from that the overall DC universe will not be hurt by this. Again, when it comes to Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, do 2 things. Don't read the critics, because they're wrong. And number 2, don't go into this thinking, I'm going to see the greatest standalone comic book movie of all time. No, they're using the 2 biggest guys in the universe to set up something even bigger. It's an attention getter for the rest of the DC universe. And that's what I think makes the movie even better when you take those considerations into effect. Comment below. I'm sure it will be incredibly mixed. But again, I disagree with the critics. I thought as a standalone movie, it was entertaining in the same vein that Demolition Man is entertaining. You just great action movie. The story makes sense. All right, go bananas. As a setup to the greater DC universe, it's a really ambitious thing. Remember, Marvel had many different movies to pull this off. They did it in one. Yes, sometimes the storytelling suffered from the ambition, but ultimately they got there in the end, which I think is the most important thing. So overall, I'm going B to B plus for Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. A good film, not a great film. Again, great would have to be on its own. It stands up as a classic, so I can't give it that A. But B plus, very capable movie, extremely entertaining, and ultimately, that's what you're looking for when you go to see a film. I'm Aaron Imholt from the Steel Toe Morning Show, 5 to 9 a.m. on Rockin' 101. You can listen to the podcasts at rockin101.com and like the Steel Toe Morning Show on Facebook. Bye, everybody.